Hello friends, this is the next part of the series that we have started with regards to the news analysis. So now we are going to discuss some of the important news that were in the newspapers and which are also important further with respect to the civil service examination, including the UPSC exam. So here the first topic we are going to talk is the American withdrawal from the Afghanistan that we are going to talk here. So the question can be there, the main type question can be there that explain the provision for US Taliban deal, okay, and with respect to effects over the India. So two things we are going to talk about is here are the provisions of US Taliban deal, and second thing its effects over the India. So what is the context, why this particular thing we are discussing here? Because US decision to pull out from the forces of Afghanistan is a big state that will deep consequences, it is said by the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. That means the External Affairs Minister saying that there are some kind of a deep consequences are there with respect to India. So that's why we will talk about this deal also, and what are these deep consequences he is talking about over the India. So here is the explanation, and this is the particular map. If you see the map, and here some of the points here given how the India-Afghanistan relation was going on, where it is talking about the $3.1 billion assistance also. Here is the list of 5 infrastructure projects on the one side. Your right side you can see the list of 5 infrastructure projects where it is regarding Jaran Dilaram highway. It is talking about the transmission line from Pule Khubri to Kabul. Then it is talking about the Salma Dam. It is talking about the Afghan Parliament. All these infrastructure projects this map is showing, and it is clearly said here. Then here we are talking about the US-Afghan peace deal. So US government and the Taliban, US-Afghan peace deal. No, it's a US-Taliban peace deal. So US government has had an agreement with the Taliban on the 29th of Feb 2020. So this particular one agreement has a major provision with respect to leaving of the troops from the Afghanistan. So it is not just US which will leave the troops. US and NATO forces, all they will leave their troops from the Afghanistan. So what are the particular features of this deal? So important thing that I have already told, that around 8,600 troops are there, US troops and also the NATO forces troops, and they will become out of Afghanistan within the 14 months. That's the main provision. Second thing, the Taliban commitment. So what are the commitments of the Taliban? The Taliban said that they will not use this organization, Taliban, and its other similar organization like Al-Qaeda, and it will not be used to threaten the security of United States and its allies. That's the Taliban commitment. Next part of the agreement is the sanction removal. So United Nations will remove the sanctions over the Taliban within few months. Then prisoners release will be happen from the both sides. US will also release the prisoners, Talibani prisoners, and Taliban also will release the US prisoners. So what are the consequences of this withdrawal over the India? So India actually contributed immensely in the infrastructure project. That just I have told that around $3.1 billion infrastructure project that India invested in Afghanistan. So if Taliban comes to power, then all this may go into the vain, or these infrastructure development projects may get affected. Second thing, that India does not have a good relationship with the Taliban, but Taliban has a good relationship with the ISI and the Pakistan military. So it may also go against India. Next, like economic interest with respect to the Central Asia. Afghanistan is our way to go to the Central Asia. If our relation with the Taliban are not good and Taliban comes to power, then our relation with the Central Asia will also get affected. And this one project, INSTC, International North-South Transfer Corridor, it is called as, this will also get affected. So if Taliban emergence happen in Afghanistan, then definitely India-Afghan relations are going to affect for a long term. The next topic is regarding to National Security Act 1980. The question here is critically discuss the National Security Act 1980. Why we are particularly discussing this act right now with respect to the news analysis? Because this National Security has imposed against the 3 people in UP selling the COVID drugs at higher prices. And there is Allahabad High Court who flagged the way UP government is actually using the National Security Act against the people. So the explanation is that Allahabad High Court was dealing with the cases to around 120 habeas corpus cases which were there imposed during January 2018 and December 2020. So Allahabad High Court said that 94 cases detention, it has already quashed the orders of the district magistrate regarding the National Security Act. For 11 detention, it had said that there is a no application of mind by the district magistrate. In 13 detention, it said that the detainee person has not given even the opportunity to represent himself challenging the National Security Act. And in 7 detention, it said that it was a normal cases of the law and order and there was no requirement of the National Security Act. So what is this National Security Act? It is a preventive detention law. What is preventive detention? That means a person is arrested before the crime has actually occurred, considering that he may get involved into the crime. So this act was enacted in 23rd September 1980 by the Indira Gandhi government, and this act particularly empowers the state and central government to detain a person considering that that particular person is prejudicial to national security. So that person is dangerous to the national security, saying that the person can be arrested. That person can be detained for the 12 months. In normal situation under the Article 22 of the Indian Constitution, the person can be arrested no longer than 3 months, but National Security Act is extending it to 12 months, and it can be further extended if government is able to prove to the court that there are fresh evidences and we want to extend the term. Again, under National Security Act, a person can be kept in dark with regards to his arrest for the 5 days, and it can be extended to 10 days. So for around 10 days the person will not know why he got arrested. So what are the criticism? Like, National Crime Record Bureau does not have any data regarding to National Security Acts. That's the problem. Second, that there can be misuse, like for example charging the journalist for National Security Act. It has become a common. So there can be abuse of this authority also. And the detainee person without trial, he will be in the jail. So definitely his human rights and fundamental rights are getting violated. And government is particularly using it to silence the people's criticism for the government and to go away with the formalities, normal formalities, the protection provided to the citizens under Criminal Procedure Code and by the court of the land. So these are some of the criticism against the National Security Act. Next, we will talk about the Myanmar Coup. Why particularly we will talk about the Myanmar Coup? Because the Myanmar Coup is, though criticized by India, India is supporting it. So the context here is that recently the Aung San Suu Kyi's party members and the ministers, those were in the earlier cabinet of Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the earlier government. So they have formulated interim national unity government, a secret government, against this junta rule, the military rule in the Myanmar right now. So here is a Myanmar, and we can see that 4 states of India are connected to the Myanmar. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram are connected to the Myanmar. That's why Myanmar is in so much of interest to India. So what is the procedure that all happened? That the election happened in November 2020, the parliamentary election happened. Aung San Suu Kyi's party got so much vote. Normally the military has around 25 seats in the parliament. So military has a good hold over the government there. But here Aung San Suu Kyi's party got more votes that it has got in 2015. So the military said that Aung San Suu Kyi is getting more powerful and military considered it as a threat. So when there was the first session of the parliament in February 2021, before the first session, military imposed a state of emergency for 1 year in the Myanmar, saying that there is some kind of a voting fraud in the parliamentary election, but there is no proof of voting fraud. But military want to impose the state of emergency, so it said that there is some kind of a voting fraud in the parliamentary election. So what is India's reaction? India, like the democratic transition, it definitely will not like that military is coming out and democracy is not getting support in the Myanmar. It expressed the deep concern regarding what are the developments there, but it will have a relations with the military government also. Why? Because there is India's interest in the Myanmar. What are the interests? It is a gateway to the east for India, because northeast states are connected to Southeast Asian states through Myanmar only. So it is a gateway of the east to India. Second, there are some of the important ports which are going on. For example, Sitwe port development in the Myanmar Rakhine state, it is by India. Then India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway that is happening. Then Kaladan multimodal project has been happening. The Kaladan multimodal project connects the our Kolkata with the Sitwe port through Kaladan river to Mizoram. So that project is also important. So then there is a land border agreement that was signed in 2018 with regards to allowing the travelers to cross each other's border just with the valid documents. Then it has invested around $1.2 billion in the Myanmar. India invested $1.2 billion, and there is some kind of a energy corporation which is going on between these two countries. That's why, though India has a concern regarding this military coup there, but then also India will cooperate with the military government because of all this interest. Next is regarding the preventive detention, and two options are given here. The question is given here: detaining. And the first option is detaining under the preventive detention still have the right to personal liberty guaranteed under Article 19 and 21. Second option is the person may take to preventive custody only for 6 months. Actually, the both options are wrong. The answer is none of the above. We will see why this answer is none of the above. What is the context? Because the 56 farmers have been taken into custody in Kurukshetra, Haryana's Kurukshetra, for protesting against the visit of the state BJP president for the party program. They were arrested under preventive detention. Later they were released. So what is actually preventive detention? I already told when we discussed the National Security Act that preventive detention is arresting a person before he committed the crime. So the crime is not committed. So after preventive detention, the person will have no right, liberty, which were guaranteed under him Article 19 and 21. That's why the first statement in the question was wrong. So to prevent the abuse of this preventive detention power, there are some of the provisions which are given in the constitution as a safeguard. So what are the safeguards given? That it will not be more than 3 months. So preventive detention will not be more than 3 months. National Security Act preventive detention can be for 12 months, but normally it will be just for 3 months. So detainee will get to know the grounds of detention. Under National Security Act for 10 days it can be hidden, but in this condition, normal condition, they have to tell that why they are getting arrested. And when the person will get arrested, he will get the earlier opportunity to making represent against the detention. That means he will get the lawyer, he can go to the court and say that my preventive detention is illegal, and can ask for release also. So all these things in this lecture with respect to the news analysis that we have seen. If you like this lecture, then please subscribe the channel, like the video, comment, give the suggestions, and share the video. Thank you so much.